fellow followers. Welcome back to FanZcene. Greg here, and today I have you, Director Jeff Nichols, on the value of physical media. Director Jeff Nichols has a new movie coming out called The Bike Riders, which actually looks pretty darn good. I will admit, I kind of want to see it. And he recently did an interview with Comic Book, and he brought up physical media. And you guys know how I love physical media. It's something I love to cover, something I love to talk about, very passionate about. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up from Comic Book. It says the bike riders director Jeff Nichols talks the importance of physical media. Jeff Nichols says physical media is an extension of a connection to people. I do agree with that. By Jamie Jirac, which I hope I said her name right. So first, it's going to talk a little bit about Bike Riders, and we'll get into it. So we'll go into it, and we'll see how it goes here. It says the Bike Riders is heading to theaters this weekend, and the new film was helmed by Jeff Nichols, Take Shelter and Midnight Special, and is based on the photography book of the same name by Danny Lyon, which is interesting. It's based on a photography book, which in itself is physical media. So I like that. I like that. The movie follows a motorcycle club in the 1960s, and Comic Book recently had the chance to chat with Nichols and some of the cast about the project. Nichols talked about working with his longtime collaborator, Michael Shannon, and we brought up how their first movie together, Shotgun Stories, wasn't available to stream anywhere. One of his first movies with him was not available to stream anywhere. You gotta love streaming, right? You gotta love streaming. Everything's at the tip of your fingers, except for Shotgun Stories and multiple other movies and stuff that's been taken down, right? Anyways, as we scroll down here, it says, I have good news on that front. Sony Classics is re-releasing it on June 18th. There you guys go. If anybody wants Shotgun Stories on a new DVD Blu-ray, looks like Sony Classics is going to be re-releasing on June 18th of 2024. How about that? Physical media for the win. Nichols shared, I mean, you're kind of talking to the wrong guy. I shoot on film. I love vinyl. I made a 1960s biker film, so I hate my cell phone. I do everything I can to not be part of the modern society, but I fail daily. I feel like that. I feel like that as well, too, because yes, I have a cell phone. I do YouTube. I stream on the internet through YouTube like that. But I try my best. I love physical media. I do love vinyl. I love CDs. I love cassettes. I love VHS. I love that old school feel to it. There's something very, very special about it. And it's something I really, really love. And I'm glad to have, and so, yeah, I felt, so, hey, you can't escape everything in the modern world. Hey, so, the internet's cool. Doing YouTube is cool and stuff like that. So there are technological advances that I love, but there's also analog stuff that I think is so much better than some of the technological advances we have. Hey, but that's just me. So I don't know. He continued, I think there's a need for people to be, and that's what physical media does. It's an extension of a connection to people, but it also does something else that's really, really important, and that is you value it. Now I'm sorry you have to spend money on that Shotgun Stories DVD, but you'll value it a little bit more than if it was a streaming thing that you could pause and leave. That is very interesting. I really like that. I'm going to continue what he says, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. It says, there's something about where you separate stories, when you separate films specifically from any type of media. Physical media, it devalues them. Not physical media devalues them, but when you separate, people from media and physical media, it devalues them. He added, we don't care about them as much, and so I'm a big advocate of that type of thing. I never really thought about that. That's, I guess that I do. It's something I talk about, but that is a great point. We often talk about movies and entertainment today and how it seems like, I believe, they're just content gobbledygook just made quickly just to get it out there on these streaming sites and everything. But he has a great point here about valuing physical media and valuing things like that, which I think is something great. Let me sort of expand on it here. Maybe some of these things that are failing and faltering and stuff, maybe they would be valued more if you had a physical copy of them. It's something that's we talk about movies from the past and how they used to go to the theater, and then they would be like 6 months, sometimes even a year in the theater, and then you would have to wait for the physical release, and the heart would grow fonder when you would get that on a physical release. It's very different, and when you own something, it's very different than allowing something just to be put on streaming and then quickly forgotten. I think maybe that's something we've lost along the way. Like I just mentioned, technological advances and everything. And it's like, my fault has never been that everything is, streaming is bad because you can stream it in your home. It's never been about that. It's been about the devalue. I think it's been about the devaluing of art and entertainment and the devaluing of physical media. People look at physical media and stuff like that, and they stub their noses. The masses do, and I don't think sometimes people realize it's a niche audience, and that physical media is not dead. It is not dying. Yes, the sales have dropped, which we've talked multiple times, but it's what it is. It's a niche group of people that are still buying. Are you still buying physical media? Then how's it dead or dying if you're still buying it? Will it eventually maybe die or go away? Maybe, but I don't think it ever will. And I think, rushing things out of the theater, rushing them to digital, putting everything on streaming and never giving a physical copy, or even when they do eventually get a physical copy, it's typically like, oh, well, here, this is our last resort. Here's the physical copy. You are devaluing something that I think has value, and or at least used to have value. And I think he hit the nail on the head that, when you separate art and films and everything specifically from any type of media and physical media, it devalues them. I agree with him 100%. And this continues with what the Bike Riders is about. And like I said, I am actually very interested in the movie Bike Riders. I think it looks interesting. It's got an old school feel to it. And he brought up the movie Midnight Special, which I do actually have on Blu-ray. So Jeff Nichols, I can't do a video on speaking about Jeff Nichols and physical media if I do not own something of Jeff Nichols on physical media. Now, I don't own Shotgun Stories. I've actually never heard of that movie before, but I do own Midnight Special on Blu-ray, which I do recommend this movie. This is a very good old school Spielbergian throwback type of movie. If you've ever seen, what is that movie? The alien, it just went on. That's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Sorry, if you've ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, or even though it's not a Spielberg movie, but John Carpenter's Starman, which relates to this movie, similar in that vein, like Starman, E.T., and all that. If you don't know any of that stuff, if you're into Stranger Things, this could go along with that as well. I do recommend this movie, Midnight Special. It's got that feel to it. It's got a great cast to it. It's got Michael Shannon, Joel Edgerton, Kirsten Dunst, Adam Driver, and Sam Shepard. It's essentially about this boy who seems to have these special powers, and the government is on them, and there's a cult after him as well. Michael Shannon is his father, and Kirsten Dunst is the boy's mother, and it's a very interesting story, and it very much fills in the vein of those movies I mentioned earlier. So if you've never seen it, I do recommend it. But what are you guys' thoughts on the value of physical media? Look, and like I've always said, if you like streaming, you go streaming, that's fine. I don't hate you, or if you stream, whatever. It's never been about that. It's about how this business model has devalued certain arts and entertainment and stuff like that, and how it's damaged these businesses, and how it's damaged the love of things like this, and how it's a bad business that's failing, and millions of dollars are being lost daily, and they can't admit failure, because if they do, then they have to scrap what they've done, and they're not going to do that. But you know what? You can still buy, as long as you keep buying physical media. And we still have directors like Jeff Nichols out there saying, hey, we need physical media. We need physical media. And I keep talking about physical media. And you keep talking about physical media. We keep buying our favorites. Physical media is not going to go anywhere. We will value our treasures of something physical, something in our hands, something that we have and we'll own. And it will mean something to us more than just, like he said, pausing something on the screen and leaving it. I mean, like even covered here, somebody wanted to watch Beetlejuice on HBO Max on Halloween, and they paused it to go do something. When they came back, HBO literally removed the movie, and it wasn't back up on HBO Max for a long time. I don't even know if it's still back up there. But you know what? If you had the physical copy of Beetlejuice, if you have the physical copy of Midnight Specials, eventually with the Bike Riders, which I hope does get a physical copy, and in the Shotgun Stories, you will value it more. I like that. The value of physical media. I like that. And yes, we shouldn't hold our possessions up higher than certain things, but it's I just love having something that's actually tangible, and that I value and I love. But let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section down below. Are you guys a fan of Jeff Nichols? Do you agree with what he said? Will you see the Bike Riders? Have you seen Midnight Special, Shotgun Stories? Let me know all that in the comment section down below, what you guys think. And if you liked what you saw here, maybe consider hitting that like button or subscribing and hitting that bell for notifications. That would be awesome if I earned your guys' subscriptions, or possibly share the video out for everybody to see, or join and become a channel member, because that would help out my channel immensely. Thank you, and shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for being channel members here, and for all of your support. And to everybody watching, whether you like me, hated me, or liked this video, hated this video, I thank you for sticking this long wherever you all are. Please have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Always support physical media. It truly is the superior format. Godspeed.